Very low clean sheet odds. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Gameweek 7. 10 pointers, 3 clean sheets. Yeah, fair enough. All right. So, Gabriel. Oh, he flagged. It's fine. Word FPL. I'm going to stick a flag on him. He's fine, right? 18, what's happening? Gameweek 7. Let's go. Hey team, Gameweek 7, talk to me. What's your questions? How can I help? Hey team, welcome to Gameweek 7 deadline stream. If you've got any questions, let me know in the chat and I'll help you out. Hey, Slim, how are you, my friend? What's happening? How's it with you, brother? Hey, team, what's happening? Gameweek 7. Talk to me. What questions have you got? What moves are you making? Any chips being played? I am all out of chips. I'm going to go so long now before I can play a chip again. Like 12 game weeks, 13 game weeks at the very earliest. FK is the second highest scoring defender. 2 assists. Crazy. Two assists in a goal. Fair play. What's your team looking like right now, Slim? Hey, Savio, what's happening, my friend? Yeah, Slim. I'm torn between. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm not torn anymore. I think my mind's made up that my mind is made up that I want Saka. Nice. How did your wildcard go, Savio? Did you get a nice big green arrow? Yeah, Slim. I think I'm locked in on Saka, but that's just because obviously Haaland's a hold, and I just really like Mateta. He's got a tough run, but I just think Palace now with Sarr back and Wharton back, I just got a feeling that Mateta's gonna. Yeah, I feel like he's just primed for a bit of a run. His data is looking really good, and Palace just as a team looking great. And then João Pedro with the whole, not going with the Brazil squad, and then after Liverpool, Forest away and Sunderland at home, those are two really nice fixtures. So I actually think for me, my reason for not going for Gyokeres is quite team specific. And I don't know, I've just got this feeling about Saka, for him to be so under the radar. Like what would his ownership be now? I think it looks like he might be rising in price tonight. Yeah, still under 10% ownership for a Bukayo Saka, who's going to be locked for minutes and has a really nice run of fixtures. Saka's not been a differential in a long time, so there's something about that just makes me really want to go there. Fair play playing Gabriel. I think if I'd have wildcarded him, I probably would. I think you have Gabriel, you play him every game. So, yeah, you must have been delighted with that last-minute header from him. But yes, I was absolutely delighted with Haaland. I'd stopped checking the scores. I was out, and then I got back and was like, why has my rank gone berserk? So that was a really lovely surprise. So actually, Savio, so my transfer plans this week, I think I'm going to do Cucurella to Gabriel. I think that's a no-brainer. Cucurella has just been a complete car crash for me, and the Chelsea defence generally. So Cucurella to Gabriel makes sense. That's a sideways move for just 0.1 extra. I don't really care about Gabriel's flag. Even if he doesn't play against West Ham, I'll have Richards coming off a bench. So I've had Richards 4 points on my bench the last couple of game weeks. So if he comes on, whatever. Because Gabriel, even if he doesn't play at home to West Ham, for me, he's a long-term hold. I think he's the premium asset to have. So I just want to get Gabriel in and just set and forget. My dilemma with Saka is it's either Gakpo or Grealish. So Gakpo was obviously benched last week against Palace, which really caught me out. But then he came off fairly early. First off, he was subbed on at halftime against Palace. And then he was subbed, I think he got like 60 minutes away at Galatasaray, whereas Wirtz played the whole match. So he's played a full 90 midweek. Ekitike picked up a bit of a strain. So I do wonder, I feel like if you've benched a player and now he could have come on for someone who's injured. I don't think he did now. But if you bench a player and then things maybe aren't going as you imagined and you bring them on at half time, I feel like that to me is a signal from Slot that Gakpo is kind of his guy. And he could see that something wasn't quite right. So he brought Gakpo on at 45 minutes. He then started him against Galatasaray. To be fair, he then subbed them off, maybe with an eye to the Chelsea game. So I've got a feeling that Gakpo starts this game week, and Chelsea's defence really aren't looking good. They've got a lot of injuries, and they're just generally quite shaky at the back. The other thing with Gakpo is I do really like having him or someone for Liverpool at home to Man United in game week 8 after the international break. Whereas Grealish, he can't play in game week 8 because he can't play against City. So now Grealish has arguably the better fixture at home to Palace, and he's obviously not a bench threat. And if anything, Grealish might actually play more centrally because Dewsbury Hall is suspended. So he might play more in the 10, and maybe Tyler Dibbling might play off the left, which I think Grealish would do very well at. But even though they're at home to a very good and very solid Crystal Palace side, but of which I have 2 defenders, but Palace just played away in Poland on Thursday. So I feel like there's really strong cases for and against, but essentially for me, it's either Gakpo or Grealish. It feels like to me, if I do Gakpo this week, then I'm kind of booking in a transfer in game week 8. because Grealish can't play. So that would probably be like Ismail Sarr or Gordon or who's the other cheap attacker. Whereas actually, if I just do Grealish now, that not only solves a problem, it gets me an upgrade for Game Week 7 and then Game Week 8. I don't then have to make a transfer in 8. But of course, if Gakpo gets benched or in one or both of those games, then I haven't really gained much. So that's my dilemma, is it's Gakpo or Grealish. Reinders is a hold, Semenyo is a hold. What's your plan for Palace versus Arsenal? Give me 9 being tripled up for both. Yeah, so Slim, good question. What I was probably going to do long term, I could probably actually just talk you through it now. So let's say I do. So Gabriel's coming in, he's a lock. That's the other thing with Gakpo and Grealish is in the medium term, I want rid of both of them. So in a way, I'm kind of like, well, does it really matter who I get rid of now? So this is what I feel like my team could look like moving forward. Oh, who is the other? So what I could actually do is, sorry, I'm moving very quickly here. So what I would actually do here is I would, I'd probably look to bring Saka in midfield, and then I could downgrade. Sorry, I would upgrade Mateta to Isak if and when he starts banging, and then I can do. So this would kind of be my team, look to be my team from kind of like 9 onwards. But that's quite a lot of transfers, so that's why I need to be quiet, and I just need to hope that nothing else happens. So it would be Cucurella to Gabriel, then both Grealish and Gakpo become Saka and Sarr, possibly. Munoz then gets downgraded to another DEFCON monster, like an Anderson or a Keane or whoever that other 4.5 could be. And then Mateta can go up to Isak. So I would be divesting away from Palace defence, but I've still got Richard, who I really like his coverage. Sarr then becomes my attacking cover instead of Mateta. And then I get Isak, who can be my Liverpool. So that's kind of my like mid to long term plan. Now, a couple of things that could present potential spanner in the works for that is if and when Palmer comes back, and if he looks really good and starts to bang, because Chelsea's run from like 8 is really nice. Forest away, Sunderland at home, Spurs away, Wolves, Burnley. Yeah, that kind of block of fixtures there is really nice. So I could have just have João Pedro actually from 8 all the way to 12 is really nice. So that could be a thing. But at the end of the day, you can't have everyone. Like, let's say Saka might get injured or might not look great. Saka could become Palmer, but then I couldn't get Isak. So this is where it's like playing around a little bit with the squad. But yeah, Slim, that kind of hopefully answers your questions, is that my long-term hold for Palace would just be Richard's defence and then probably Sarr in midfield. And if things go to plan and Isak starts to start consistently, starts to score consistently and really look nailed in that Liverpool team, then I'd look to make him, I'd like to upgrade Mateta to Isak. But that's tight. Like like even at this stage, I've already got 1.1 in the bank. So like, I don't know which, like I wouldn't be wanting to necessarily downgrade and anywhere like lower than 4.5. So that could be a problem. So I might need to try and find a bit of budget elsewhere. But yeah, that's kind of my general thoughts with regards to the medium term view of my team. Okay, the reasoning, but also for Slot wants to play Verts into form. Yeah, that's a good point, Savio. I do feel like he'll persist with Verts. I guess it's just in what capacity and what role. The thing is as well is that, you know, Frimpong's not been playing particularly well, and Conor Bradley's not played brilliantly. Szoboszlai did really well at right back, but then Szoboszlai's also done very well at 10. So maybe Verts becomes the 10 again, Szoboszlai slots into right back. That means Gakpo's left. It's a real tough one. I'm very torn with this one. Saka, Foden and Bomo on my Wildcard all bombed last week. Fingers crossed this week. Yeah. Well, yeah, fingers crossed Saka does well, because I will most likely be bringing him in. You've been very unlucky with Mbeumo. He looks so lively, and geez, Man United's like expected goals. Even if you take away the penalties, they just looked. Yeah, you expect Cunha and Mbeumo to click and go on a bit of run of form. You'd hope anyway. Foden, yeah, that was a tough one. Same with Rangers. I brought Rangers and got nothing. Can't move Palmer. Can't move to Palmer. That was Gordon. Yeah, I like Gordon. I really like Gordon. The other one, sorry, yes, I just realised the other one that I do really like is Minte. So of that permutation of players, if I needed to free up a bit of cash, Saka could, it could be Minte instead, who's a fair bit cheaper. He looks really good, and Brighton's run is nice, like kind of no red fixtures until Gameweek 16. Wolves away, I'm not going to have it, but then Newcastle at home, United away, Leeds at home, Palace away, Brentford at home, Forest away, Villa at home, West Ham at home. Like that's a run all the way up into 15. That's lovely. And then even after that, Sunderland, then Arsenal, then West Ham, then Burnley. So like that run for Brighton, like you could probably play Minte nearly if he is starting to pick up the minutes. Like he's starting every game now. You could probably play Minte every week. So then Mateta becomes Isaac, and then you've got 5.1 to spend. So like Romero, for example. So suddenly, actually, with Minte instead of Sarr, that's a lot more wiggle room. Although I don't like, I like Sarr because if I did Mateta out, I could bring Sarr in for that Palace coverage. But that's an option that could give me a really nice bit of coverage for defense, so I wouldn't be like having to drop down. Yeah, you could bring in you could bring in Burn, you could bring in a Newcastle defender, Keane, Everton, Romero, Van der Ven. Oh, he's 4.8 now, wow. So yeah, maybe that would be the play if I wanted to really go big up front, because also as well, by having the real three big hitters up front, you're kind of taking the pressure off. You could do 3-4-3, you could do 4-4-2, sorry, 4-3-3, you could do 4-3-3 or 4-3-4-3. You could play around with the formations a bit there. Almost have Enzo Marco, then succumb to Brander's pressure. Yeah, that's a tough one. With their run, I think, being honest, and with the 0.2 saving, I probably would have done Reinders, to be honest. I think Minte is only just really broken on the scene, and he's only just really started to return. So, particularly considering last week, you'd basically be bringing him in off one assist. Whereas in actual fact, because he went and did it back to back. Oh no, to be fair, okay, so he got assist, goal, assist. So he's returned in the last 3. So could have felt a little bit punty. Where did you get that 4 from? Did you get DEFCON against Man United? Yeah, he did. Wow. That's crazy. Lads, what moves are you making then? So, Savio, I assume you're just going to roll because you've just played your wild card. Slim, did you say that you're... Okay, so you're considering Saka or Gyokeres. Who are your... Slim, who are your transfer out options for either Saka or Gyokeres? Hey team, welcome to the deadline stream. Chuck your questions and your dilemmas in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer. Also, if you could smash that like button on the stream, that would be amazing, really helpful. I've just hit 200 subscribers, so I'm absolutely delighted, having only just started this channel a few months ago. So 200 subscribers already is amazing. If you're not already subscribed, and you are getting good value from my analysis, then please hit that subscribe button as well. It really means a lot. Yeah. Mateta for Gyokeres or Grealish for Saka. Yeah, I mean, look, I can totally see the argument for selling Mateta. Not everyone is as convinced by underlying data than me, should we say? I mean, maybe I'm just a bit of too much of an optimist. But yeah, Mateta's underlying data looks really good for me. But at the end of the day, some players just have amazing data or good data and they can never back it up. Like if they can't finish, they can't finish. And to be fair, Mateta's never been the most clinical finisher. So if you just don't think he's going to score, then get rid. I think the problem, and also, sorry, just on Mateta, yeah, the next three aren't great. Everton away is a tough fixture. Bournemouth are a very good defensive side. Then Arsenal away. So then he's Brentford and Brighton at home, Wolves away. So that run after 10 gets much better. But yeah, I could see the logic in selling Mateta. On the flip side, I don't think Gyokeres is really setting anyone's world on fire. He's still finding his feet. It's a real shame that penalty against Newcastle. First off, it was a penalty, but secondly, I think it's a real shame that penalty against Newcastle was overturned, because it would have given us, or me, so much clarity around who's actually on penalties for Arsenal. If Saka would have taken it, I feel like I'd have just transferred Saka in on the spot. But if it's Gyokeres, it's tough. And I don't want to play FPL just for whomever's on penalties, but it is a big factor. And Gyokeres is good at penalties as well. He's not like a Bruno Fernandes, who's obviously not doing great at the moment. But yeah, Gyokeres is a tough one. But then the problem is for you as well, Slim. I feel like Grealish, Rodgers are easier sells than Mateta. Like Grealish, similar to me. You're getting an upgrade in Gameweek 7, and then you're solving a problem for Gameweek 8 because Grealish can't play in Gameweek 8, and you probably wouldn't play him anyway because he's away at Man City. So Rodgers, you probably want to hold for this game week, and then you could flip him next. So yeah, you've got a fairly similar situation, just with different players, as I do with Gakpo and Grealish. Hey Sabani, how are you, mate? Penalties were overpriced. Yeah, I mean, like there doesn't seem to be that many this season, unless you're a Man United, of course. But what would be your bench order? Rodon versus Spurs, home. Alderete versus Man U, away. Foster versus Villa, away. Yeah, that's a tough one, Savio. I think Rodon, you're probably looking at a better chance of a clean sheet. Alderete has a bit of attacking threat. He scored last week. And again, like you just don't know which Man United's going to show up. Like, and Foster, Burnley forward versus Villa. That's a tough one. That's a really tough one. Things with Foster, I was going to open my mouth and say I would usually always back the upside of the attacker, but I don't really feel like Foster's looks like scoring. And Rodon's looked pretty good for defensive contributions as well, hasn't he? And Spurs played away on Thursday. Man United rested. Villa played late on Thursday. Villa's defensive stats have not been good either. DC. Oh, okay. He's only actually got. So Rodon's been very close to defensive contributions. 9, 9, 10, 7, 14, 7. So like he's there or thereabouts. Savio, to be honest, I would probably back the. Oh, this is a really tough one. I feel like I'd probably back the home defender. I'd probably go Rodon, to be honest with you. I'd probably go Rodon, Foster, Alderete. Which way were you leaning, Savio? Let me know. Slim, were you saying you feel like it'll be solving problems for weeks afterwards? Is that if you get Gyokeres in or if you get Saka in? Yeah. Sabani, he wasn't asking who to bench, he was asking in what order. So we were just talking about who's going to be your first sub. So yeah, I think Leeds have looked really good at home. I think you back the home defense and yeah, hope that even if Spurs do score, which they might, that Rodon gets clean DEFCON, because then like he's got like a 3-4 ceiling. You know, chances are he won't even need to come off your bench, but if he does, I'd go with that, to be honest. The role Foster plays is very much more occupying centre backs, allowing Anthony to, you know, break into the box, find space and score. So and then Alderete, like Sunderland, who knows? Like, and the thing is as well, who knows with Man United? They could quite easily, something could click and they could all pull up their socks for Ruben Amorim and beat Sunderland 3-0. Or they could completely capitulate and lose 3-1. Like you just don't know. And Alderete could score a header at the back post. It's so hard to call with Man United, and I feel like Sunderland as well have been such a surprise package. So yeah, no worries, Sabani. Sabani, what's your questions? Do you need any help with anything? How's your team looking? Saka visa becomes an option. Oh right, so you're saying, so Slim, you're saying that if you get Saka in, yeah, that would then. The other thing with Gyokeres is that, to be fair as well, Gyokeres is quite a nice placeholder for Isak. It's much easier to get from Gyokeres to Isak. Now, there's going to be some overlap with fixtures. You might want Gyokeres for longer. He might start banging. So, yeah. Hi, Juan. Roast on our Mets, Senesi, Tarkowski, Burn, Timber, Chalaba, Grealish, Manu, Anthony, Paqueta, Haaland, Gakpo, Automata. Should I bench boost? Have 3 free transfers along with Chalaba. Who should I change? Yeah, that's a nice squad. Rolston, Roma, Senesi, Tarkowski, Burn, Timber, Grealish, Manu, Anthony, Paqueta, and yeah, that's very bench boostable. Yes, would be my answer to that. Bench boost, and I would transfer. One, who do you want? Sorry, this sounds like a bit of a weird question, but so you've got Senesi, Tarkowski, Burn, Timber, and Chalaba. You don't have any like bench fodder, right? So could it be an option for you to maybe actually move Chalaba to a Rodon or a Goodmanson or a Alderete at Sunderland and just go for the upside? Because then they can just sit last place on your bench. Juan, have you already wildcarded? Yeah, honestly, Juan, I would probably do that, because if you're going to bench boost, get your bench boost out of the way. Rodon's actually got a pretty good fixture at home, and so does Alderete. So I'd bring in one of those two. You could even bring in a Burnley defender. Like, Villa are hardly pulling up trees. I feel like you could downgrade Chalobah to one of the 4.0 defenders. Probably Rodon would be my pick. Play your bench boost, and then they can just sit last on your bench, and then you freed up some cash moving forward. Oh, you're going to go to Gabriel. I mean, yeah, if you can afford, yeah, if you can afford Gabriel, like, yeah, 100%. Oh, okay, you've got quite a low midfield. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, one. Okay, cool. Yeah, go Gabriel. Because yes, actually, you have no Arsenal. Oh no, you've got Timber. Yeah, just go Gabriel and hit that bench boost. That's a really nice squad, and then you can start to downgrade in a few positions and then upgrade in others. Let's go for that. Okay, so wildcard and triple captains. Yeah, so then you've got your free hit in your back pocket. Nice. Yeah, do that one. Just do Chalobah to Gabriel. That's what I'm going to do, and then bench boost. Savio, what's your thought on formation 4-4-2-3? I think Savio with the DEFCON situation, I think you can actually be fluid. I think you can kind of be fluid between a 4-4-2 and a 3-5-2. Thank you, Juan, for subscribing, my friend. I appreciate that. So the way I'm set up is I obviously have king. So I'm set at a 4-4, a 4-3-3, or a 3-4-3, or even a 4-4-2. But I can't do 3-5-2. I actually think there's quite good value in forwards. I think João Pedro will come good. Maybe I'm just being a bit too optimistic, but what I would say about formations is the way that DEFCON has structured the game, where you can have the likes of Richards, Senesi, Joachim Andersen, and others, and then it actually makes it quite easy to do a solid 4-4-2 and then have a premium like a Gabriel. So yeah, probably I prefer 4-4-2. I actually think that there's not a huge amount of great midfield options, but maybe that's just because I have king. Tabani, Petrovic, Cucurella, Timber, Munoz, Semenyo, Saka, Enzo, Rangers, Haaland, Gyokeres, João Pedro bench, yeah, nice. Sabani. That squad looks really good. I don't like Cucurella, but you've got Timber, so you've got your Arsenal cover. I'm going to do this week Cucurella to Gabriel. Hey, Farid132. So we are probably going to do the exact same moves this week. I am probably going to do Gakpo to Saka or Grealish to Saka. So are you saying Gakpo to Saka or Gakpo to Sarr? Or are you saying should you do both? Who would be the other midfielder that you bring in for Sarr? Yeah, I agree, Savio. I agree. Right, I'm actually just going to make my moves now. Before I go, so all right, guys. Chat, let me know. Who should I transfer for Saka? Is it Gakpo or is it Grealish? Gakpo, Grealish. Now, my gut's telling me that Gakpo starts against Chelsea, and the Grealish transfer is probably the more sensible one because it helps solve a headache in Gameweek 8. But then at the same time, Gakpo's a rotation risk now, so I kind of feel like I'm just kidding myself because I could hold on to Gakpo. He could start against Chelsea, and then he gets benched against Man United at home in Gameweek 8. Yeah. All right, thanks for the reply. I might hold the bench boost and roll it for Gameweek 8 anyway. I have to make some change for my team. That's going nice. Thanks, Juan. Thanks for subscribing, man. Appreciate it. Good luck with this. Good luck with this game week. What do you mean, Savio? For long term, hold Gakpo or sell Gakpo? All right, I'm going to do Cucurella to Gabriel now. Get that locked in. Sell Gakpo. Oh, yeah. It's a tough one. Yeah, the thing is, I feel like Grealish is it's probably a medium sell anyway. Spurs, Sunderland, Fulham, yeah, and also he's just not been doing the business for me. Like I wildcarded him in. He obviously had those 2 great double assists, and he's not really done anything since. It's almost as if like people have realised again, oh yeah, Jack Grealish is a good player. We should mark him. All right, we are coming up to 5 minutes before the deadline, team. Yeah, that's kind of my thoughts, Savio, is like they are both going to be gone. At least Gakpo gives me a more upsidey stopgap, in my opinion, between now and then, because I could keep him for Man United at home. Whereas Grealish is Palace at home, which is a tough match. Then he can't play. Whereas at least Gakpo, I think, will start, and then who knows? Yeah. 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 Grealish to Saka. Doing it. Grealish to Saka. There we go. Vice captain. All right. We can all reconvene next time I do a stream, and you guys can laugh at me when Gakpo gets back-to-back benching or gets an injury in the international break. But anyway, or when Grealish hauls against Crystal Palace. But I just feel like Crystal Palace will just contain. They'll do very well. They generally keep the goals against down. They're never steamrolled. Whereas, I don't know, this Chelsea team, a lot of defensive injuries, clearly have a red card or 2 in them. So I'm thinking right now, Gakpo to Saka maybe enjoy. So, okay, so if it's for Njai, Farid, I would keep Njai. I'd keep Njai for 1 more game week. I think that he could do well, at least get you DEFCON. And Sar's away at Everton. I don't know. I feel like you could bring Sar in maybe the week after next. For now, if that was me, I would do Gakpo to Saka, and I'd hold Njai. So Gakpo and Grealish for Saka. So. Yeah, the rotation's been wild this season. It's kind of the brave new world with all these bigger squads and all the European football. Pope, Timber, Saka, or Raya, Gabriel, Bruno. Pope, Timber, Saka, or Raya, Gabriel, Bruno. Oh, yeah, man, that's a tough one. Pope, Timber, Saka, or Raya, Gabriel, Bruno. I really don't like Bruno, but I think that Pope and Raya and Gabriel are better than Pope and Timber. That's really tough. Man, if I was to go for one, I'd probably say, actually, no. Newcastle. No, do Pope Timber, Saka. Pope Timber, Saka. Yeah, Fareed, do Gakpo to Saka now, but hold Njai. Don't do Njai to Sa. Yeah, Pope Timber Saka is fun. Yeah, Pope Timber Saka. A lot of nice upside on that. All right, team, if you're new to the channel or the stream, hope you're finding it useful. Please smash that like button and hit subscribe. Really, really helps the channel. I've just hit 200 subscribers, which is great. So if you find it useful and you find my help helpful, then please hit the subscribe button and hit the like button as well. It really, really helps. Yeah, let's go Pope Timber Saka. If we can just get everyone on the chat to go Saka, that'd be great. We had that a few weeks ago. We all went with Ndoye, and yeah, that worked out well. But cool, that's my team locked. I'm delighted with that. And then if Gakpo does get benched, or I don't fancy him in 8, he can easily then become. He can then easily become Sa or Gordon or Minte or one of those guys. But right now, I'm happy enough with that. All right, team. 1 minute to deadline. 1 minute to deadline. Yeah, totally, Farid. Like, I'm the same, man. Because what is he? We were checking him earlier. Okay, so he's gone up to 8 points. So he's gone up like 1% just on the time I've been doing this stream. But like, to have Saka under 10%, like, that's just crazy. Like, that's unheard of. There we go, team. The deadline has passed. Team's logged in. Boom. Updating. Guys, thanks so much for joining the deadline stream. Best of luck in game week 7. And yeah, I'll be taking a week or so off with the international break. But yeah, come and join me again live. I'm not able to do personal commitments. I'm not able to do deadline streams before the UK 11 a.m. Game week deadlines, but I'll try and do them elsewhere. So I've made a mark of when I can do them, but I can do Friday evenings. I can do later on Saturdays. So I'll keep you guys all informed. But thank you for liking the stream. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you for hitting subscribe. And yes, Savio, fingers crossed to a big Saka haul. And best of luck, everyone. Have a great time. Chat to you soon. Good luck, team. Ciao.